Hi everyone, I'm Jessie Meany. It's great to be talking to you all today. I hope this finds you well today. So I wanted to take some time and expand a little bit about or on raising vibrations. So some people have a tendency, or they believe that working to raise your vibrations is superficial work. So you're doing things to help you feel happy, but there's something at a deeper level that needs to be worked on. So what I want to talk about is the fact that raising your vibrations is real, but it's kind of like a stepping stone to personal growth. There's always going to be another layer to peel back or another step to move forward. And raising your vibrations is a step forward. It's real. But it helps to get you in that mindset or in that place to start peeling back the layers and working on the deeper stuff. So I thought I'd share a story from my past to kind of give an example of what raising vibrations can do. And this happens over time. When you're working on raising your vibrations, don't expect everything in your life to turn around the next day. Okay, this is personal growth. It's not meant to happen all in one day. It's meant to be, we're meant to grow over a lifetime, not just get to a certain point and stop and say, all right, I'm done. I'm done for this life. I'm just going to kick back and relax now. This is a lifelong process. So something that happened to me about 5 years ago, my father passed away. I was 30 at the time, and I was heartbroken. I loved my dad. I had a really strong bond and attachment with him. And as I've learned, when you develop an attachment to something or someone or a situation, when you lose it, it can be devastating. Losing my father was devastating to me. And I had a really hard time pulling out of that. The grief, the depression, all those emotions that follow with losing somebody close to you. And at the time, I had no idea how to pull out of it. I remember talking to my husband and saying, I don't know how long I'm supposed to feel like this. I see other people that they lose loved ones and they're out walking around, they're smiling, they're living their life. And I was just wondering, how do you do that after you lose someone like that? So I had a couple benefits. When I went through the massage program, I learned how to meditate. I had been doing yoga since I was maybe in high school, different forms of yoga. So I had yoga and I had meditation, and I also had a knack for energy work. So I had those three things in my corner, but I wasn't exactly sure. I had to learn how to use them. So raising my vibrations helped. I started by getting up in the morning and doing yoga and meditating. While I did yoga and meditated, I felt some relief. I felt better. And then when I was finished with my session, I had probably 20 minutes. I felt really great. And then bam, those feelings of grief, the crying, everything would come right back. But I kept moving forward with it. I kept doing it because as I did it, I noticed that I would go a little bit longer with feeling better, feeling at peace, I would say. I mean, even if working to raise my vibrations for a little while gave me 20 minutes of peace every day, I know some of you can identify with that, the way you feel throughout the day. If you had 20 minutes of peace, it's like holding a gold bar in your hands. It's amazing when you're struggling with something. So I would go farther and farther every time And what raising my vibrations did was help me to go deeper without it being extremely painful. Because these situations are painful and they leave scars, they leave things deep inside of us. And we can leave them there and we can let them fester, or we can learn to heal them. Learning to heal them takes time, and it takes patience and compassion and forgiveness for yourself. And raising your vibrations can help you get there. So while raising vibrations, doing things like having a positive attitude, going outside for a walk, exercising, listening to music, those things that are uplifting, that people say, well, it's only superficial, it doesn't last, there's still stuff deep inside. There is. It's there. I know. I felt it. But it's a stepping stone, because once you do get your mind in a better place, that's a great time to start working. They call it shadow work. It's a great time to get into that. If you're remaining in a very depressed state, if your vibrations are low and you're trying to do shadow work, it may not turn out great for you, because you're just gonna really slam yourself back into that darker state, and you're gonna go right towards the memories that are painful. You're gonna be reliving that pain. If you raise your vibrations first, you can approach it so much differently. You can approach it with a positive attitude and give yourself time to understand it. I think that's a big thing. People they don't take the time to have love and compassion for themselves and understanding. We want to know that this is okay. Pretty much everybody has this stuff. It's not just you. And you can work with it. And doing those baby steps to raise your vibrations it can send you in the right direction. It's not silly work that just is fake and phony and, oh, she's just putting on a happy face. I mean, they might be just trying to get out there and make it in the world, but it's a stepping stone into something deeper. And if you practice, if you want to practice meditation, walking, exercise, eating healthy is a huge one. If you want to just start practicing these things every day, you do have to commit to it. You can't just do it for a week and say, okay, it didn't work. You really have to commit to it to see the difference, to see the change, and then you can get into that deeper work with yourself, because you're becoming more comfortable with yourself. You're starting to understand yourself a little bit more. You can sit back and think, that's who I was. This is who I am. And you can see the patterns in your behavior. You can understand why you have certain patterns in your behavior. I just would stress, even though some patterns in your behavior might have come from something, a way you responded to something that somebody else did, please don't point fingers and blame other people. In order to grow, you really need to take responsibility for what's going on with you. And that's where true healing starts, is really stepping up and saying, okay, this is the way I feel, this is what's going on that's hurting me, this is the pain, this is the stuff I want to release, and it's all up to me. It's not up to anybody else. It's not up to somebody to say, I'm sorry to you, or feel bad about what they did to you. You know, forgive them, forgive yourself. That's where the true healing is going to start. And that's going to raise your vibrations. Once you start to forgive and forgive yourself, forgive others, you're going to see a huge difference. But it'll take time, and it's real work. It's real good stuff. But it does come in steps. You have to move forward. You have to think, what's the next step? If you start thinking, what's 5 steps out? I'm here, but I want to go all the way over there. It's going to be difficult. But if you think to yourself, what's just the next step? I don't have to do it all at once. You're going to be so much more successful if you take smaller steps and really let the healing process work for you instead of trying to shove it all in your face at once. So when you start to hear people talk about how raising your vibrations or good vibes only is very superficial, I can understand why people would see that, or like putting on a fake smile, but in the long run, it helps you get to that deeper level with a more positive attitude because you're practicing positivity, okay? And then that's where you can go into those darker places, and you're doing it with more light, so you're safer. You can work on those darker places and bring in more light there and have a better experience and a better outcome. So please don't just write off raising your vibrations as superficial. If it doesn't work long term for somebody, they're not going through all the steps. They're trying to, maybe they are probably trying to put on that happy face, and maybe they stop. They're not going through the steps. But it's like, raise your vibration, then find the place you need to work on. Then you raise them more, because this stuff you're healing, so you can raise them even more. Then you can get to the deeper stuff. So there's kind of like a ladder you're climbing, raising the vibrations, working on the stuff. And it has to happen together, or that's when we get into the place where raising our vibrations kind of drops off and we think it doesn't really work. You have to be doing the progression as well as the raising the vibration stuff. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up for some people. I hope it gives you guys a little bit of insight and inspires you to keep moving forward and keep trying it, because you're worth doing the work to get to the healing place. It's amazing once you start clearing things out. And it doesn't mean that other stuff won't come in, but you're going to be able to handle it on a different level. And overall, it raises your energy, makes you happier, and you can find that peaceful feeling a little more easier than before. So keep up the good work, keep up with your energy work, raise your vibrations, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you.